All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahakodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, blessings, and salutations to you, sincere Akim out there pushing the truth across the four corners of earth. I'm the brother Shaman of Great Millstone, Chicago. It's just a quick hit, interesting article. And this is just another example of when we talk about the false churches, we talk about, the wickedness that our people do, with the mantle of being holy and not understanding, what it's really about. It says black, brown communities should get first dibs on coronavirus vaccine, minority leaders say. We're asking and demanding that we have a sense of trust by allowing us to be considered to be the first when it comes to distribution, said Pastor John Harrell of Proviso Baptist Church in Maywood. Now, of course, this is in Chicago, which is it's a target. Chicago's a target because Jake basically they're doing kind of well here. Despite what they say, Jake is doing a little well. Jake kind of took over the city, and Esau kind of got pushed out to the county, and so a lot of these Jakes are still, despite what's going on, they're still comfortable. All right, and this just shows it. All right, why would you even, because you really can't say too much, or YouTube, they're getting sensitive now. I don't know if they're even on my channel, but they will be eventually. But yeah, it's just a bad choice of words, bad decision, and just this isn't the spirit, man. All right, because here it is, you got all these other incurable diseases, all this other stuff, but then they come out with the vaccine for this Crown Royal, and boom, we should be the first ones. Has this stuff been clinically tested? All these questions pop up, no response, but we should be the first ones. All right, and this is just an example of the blind leading to the blind, and then both falling into the ditch. All right, and it's a lot of people out there who share his sentiments. All right, but this is just kind of a he's a what's it called? He's a figurehead. All right, set up by Esau. All right, to even say this kind of bullshit. All right, and it says, man, just you thought you seen it all. Just when you thought Jake couldn't stoop any lower, But it says, I'm gonna jump right to the point. It said, we're sick and tired of being sick and tired of we're asking and demanding that we have a sense of trust by allowing us to be considered to be first when it comes to distribution. Pastor John Harrell says, blah, blah, blah. That's the point, man. That's the point. Oh, yeah. The push for priority access comes for a day after NBC Chicago reported the first shipment of Pfizer's COVID-19 touchdown at O'Hare International Airport. All right, so it looks like they already got the stuff ready to go. All right, it's all ready to go. It says still the U.S. FDA has yet to grant emergency approval to that shot or another promising vaccine candidate manufactured by so they've already got the stuff. It's already been shipped out. They got it here somewhere. All right, it's just waiting to be approved by the powers that be, and that goes to show you that there's a chain of command. You know what I'm saying? Under Esau, there's a chain of command on what they can release, what they can't release, what they'll tell you they have, what they won't tell you they have. All right, because people don't know about this. All right, and this is Zephaniah 1:12. All right, it says, and it shall come to pass at that time that I will search Jerusalem with candles and punish the men that are settled on their lees. All right, and this is talking about in the end of days. This is prophecy. I mean, and they're settled on the lees. Lees being the dregs. Let's look at that. Being the dregs of whatever alcohol you're drinking. Okay, it says shamar. All right, lees, dregs from something preserved that is settlings of wine. All right, so they're settled on. They didn't even say the best of the wine, the greatest of the grapes. It says the lees. You don't even have you getting crumbs. You getting dregs, and you just settle. All right, and that's why the Lord is going to destroy 2/3 of Israel. All right, it says that say in their heart, the Lord will not do good, neither will He do evil. All right, basically that's it, man. There is no day coming where the Lord is going to return. Everything is as it's supposed to be. The people who are in, the Ish people who are in that country over there, those are the real people. We're the Gentiles over here. This is the kingdom. There's nothing that's going to happen. All right, and you're oh so wrong, man. You're oh so wrong. It said, therefore, their goods shall become a booty, in their house of desolation. They shall also build houses, but not inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards, but not drink the wine thereof. All right, and these pastors, man, have gotten very rich off of really exploitation. That's really what it is, man. That's really what they've been doing this whole time, man. Exploiting people who are emotionally, physically, mentally been beaten up. All right, put in all these situations, but you're not giving them the truth. You're not laboring for the Lord. All right, you're not going to the highways and byways and standing in the gates of the noble. You're not declaring the statutes of the Lord. You're not giving the truth to the people, and that's why the Lord is going to do what He's going to do, man. A lot of these people, especially the pastors, man, they're about to lose out big, especially when people start to see that, which people are already seeing, but especially when, that time comes, man, just like it said, their possessions are going to be for booty. People are going to take everything that they have, all right? Because you lied. You didn't warn them. You didn't tell them. You didn't tell them what was written in the scriptures. You didn't tell them the persecution that's coming on Jacob. All right, it says, I had another one. Where is it at? All right, Matthew 23. Let's start at verse 13. But woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye shut up the kingdom of heaven against men, for ye neither go in yourselves, neither suffer ye them that are entering to go in. Exactly. And they don't even, they're making all this money. They see, the gospel, the real gospel being pushed. All right, they don't even, they'll come out and they used to argue with us. Now they kind of know that we know, the Israelites, we know the scriptures. There's no arguing. There's none of that. But, now they're just making money, basically, man. All right, it says, woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites. All right. And just like you read, man, ye shut up the kingdom of heaven against men. Yeah, you're not telling people how to. They might tell you to repent, okay? They might tell you a few things. Excuse me. Right, but they're not telling you you're an Israelite. They're not telling you your true history. They're not declaring who the different tribes are, who the nations are. They're not telling you why you're suffering. They're not telling you this is Babylon. They're not giving you the full truth, the full breakdown. It said, woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye devour widows' houses, and for a pretense make long prayer. Therefore ye shall receive the greater damnation. And the scriptures tell you your prayer is supposed to be short, because the Lord already knows what you need. All right, and that's another way you know these places are wicked, man. They get you in there, Jesus. You know, they got the cross up as a representation of Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, which, you know, that's not that cross is actually goes back to something else. You know, that goes back to the whole thing for Talmuds. All right, they got you speaking gibberish. You know, what about that shit? Whatever that bullshit ass demonic language is. You know, telling you that's tongues when, you know, tongues, the cloven tongues. Those are different languages of where our people were scattered. You know, right around the four corners of the earth. All right, so and then just like it said, they're praying. You're doing a prayer for fucking 10, 15 minutes. You know, you sitting there at church. Everybody does it. Nobody wants to admit it. You falling asleep. All right, they still praying, still going, and Jake knows it. Jake knows it. They joke about it. They play about it, but that's because Jake has a low sense of self-worth. All right, they're just happy just to be there. You know, they really believe that is what it takes for them to receive salvation. Right? They really believe if I just get dressed up, go in there Sunday, and kind of you know, feel a type of way, I donate money, I'm good. Right? And that's not the case, man, because the Lord is about to, and He's doing it now, but He's really about to turn it up. Right? Especially when this whole especially when this whole stimulus thing runs out. All right, then these jakes are really gonna be out here crazy. All right, it says, "Woe unto you." Hey, that was it on that. That was it on that. All right. Meanwhile, many in African American and Latino communities remain wary of inoculation in the medical establishment at large. Ford, a Chicago Democrat, traced the mistrust of medical experiments back to the U.S. government's Tuskegee syphilis research, which withheld treatment of poor black men over a 40-year period. Exactly. And to this day, the government has never apologized. All right, and for any of this, man, for any of this, and that's another way you know the church, these modern day churches, they're not right because they're linked to the government. All right, there's certain things that they can't say that the government tells them that you can't say in order to remain under that 501c3 tax bracket to keep getting those funds. All right. A real church, the reason why Paul was persecuted, the apostles were persecuted so much is because they spoke out against the government. They spoke out against wickedness. All right. They spoke out against it. And they were hunted and they were hated for it. And that's just a lot of the prophets. All right, they're going to be hated by, especially the government of Esau, because they know who we are. You know, a lot of them know exactly who we are. It says that goes deep. And when you think about how the government has failed the black and brown community, and that is the Tuskegee experiment, that's just one case. There are many, 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 many more cases. All right, some documented, some undocumented. All right. Hey, so that's it, man. Just you know, just interesting stuff to read. All right, they're trying to cite that as a reason. Well, this is why, because this one experiment happened. No, first off, there were multiple experiments which were done unknowingly, all right, where they used chemicals on us, and still ones which are being done to this day. All right, certain chemicals, certain things that you're drinking and consuming. All right, hey, that Popeye's chicken sandwich, that was an experiment of sorts. You see how that turned out. All right, I think they said that had certain petroleum dyes in it, you know, some kind of dyes or something, which those petroleum dyes, the things that they dye these different foods for them to look realistic and for them to look good, you know, those things are bad for your colon, bad for your gut, you know, bad for you, and they make you sick. All right. So it says, yeah, a coalition of healthcare experts and former government officials Yeah, they're former government officials. What now? Why would healthcare be former government? Because they're all one and the same, man. They're under the same beast. It says, found that just 48% of black respondents said they would probably or definitely take a free vaccine, compared to 66% of Latino respondents. You got a lot of lost Northern Kingdom, man. Shit. It said, meanwhile, large, you got both are lost, man. Both are lost. Meanwhile, large academic hospitals in Chicago have had a tough time recruiting minority volunteers to test vaccines, namely members of the black community. I wonder why. All right, hey, there's a reason why in all these different cities you got hospitals which they've had a history of. The whole healthcare industry, man, is just full of wickedness, man. The whole foundation of it, how they figured out how to, get bullets and operate and cut, because you're not supposed to make any incisions in your flesh. All right. Now, hey, you got to be wise, right? You get shot or something happens and you got to cut it open and pull it out. Hey, that's just what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? You gotta in an emergency situation like that. But talking about like getting a tattoo or them cutting you open and you getting a Brazilian butt lift or something, that's completely wicked. You're not supposed to do that. All right. So it's a difference, man. Esau is a master of cutting you open, and they'll put in new hearts for each other and all new lungs and all kind of shit. All right, because they had to experiment on actual people to figure out how it was done. And the history on that is documented. All right, especially with women's health, with the whole OBGYN thing. All right, a lot of that science came from them experimenting on slaves. All right, so, hey, man, it's just more information coming out. More of these false pastors showing that they're false. All right. And the gospel's going to continue to push on, man. Hey, people are seeing, man. People are seeing who's real and who's not. All right, according to the Bible. Call Allah Yahbashim Al Shai Bible Ball.